Hello, internet land. Doing our thing on a Saturday morning. Just not what we normally do. We are normally here Friday night, but here we are Saturday morning doing our thing, like I just said. Doing our thing. You know, just doing it.
It is performed.
Yeah.
Welcome to the #1 podcast where it is performed.
We are doing it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Captain's Log number 130. You guys know me. My name is Kyle Springer. I am joined as always by Melissa Wilkinson.
Yes.
How are you, Melissa?
I'm doing okay. How are you yourself on this Saturday afternoon?
I am okay. I am feeling good. I have a little bit of food in me, not much, but enough to like kickstart me, right?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Good stuff.
2 eggs.
Because I'm the kind of person who likes to sleep as much as I can before I need to actually get up and do things. So I didn't wake up too long ago. It was just like, wake up, sit down here, let's start the podcast. So it's been good. I think today will be a good day because we also record crossplay on Saturdays. That's this evening for me, and yeah, I'm excited. Just a good day of podcasting with my friends.
Nice. Yeah.
So, what have you been up to? How are you?
I'm doing good. My new couch finally arrived this week. That's the big update.
There you go. What kind of couch?
Yeah. I will send you the link to this thing.
Oh, hell yeah.
Be aware they're having a sale. So the first thing you see when you click on the page will be a giant flash page about the sale. Where's my word? I always lose my word bubble.
Couches are essential, right? They're a piece of furniture that like you need to legitimately invest in for it to be really comfy.
I spent hours trying to pick out this new couch.
That looks awesome. Let me see here. I can
I like it a lot. So I ordered this in January 23rd.
Nice.
And they said it would take 4 to 6 weeks to get here, or ships within 4 to 6 weeks. And then it was Tuesday night that I got the email saying, hey, your couch is shipped. It will be here on Thursday.
Oh, okay.
And this is it's a couch that ships in like 6 big boxes and then you put it together yourself. I'm like, there's no way that's getting to me in like a day and a half. This has to be a fluke. No, it was there. Like I got the email like 6 p.m. Tuesday and then like Thursday at noon, the couch was here.
That's awesome.
Which gave me no time to figure out what to do with my old couch. I put an ad up on Facebook Marketplace, like it's free. The upholstery is kind of torn up, but I promise you it's still pretty firm, pretty solid.
Yeah.
This would be a great reupholstery project. Nobody bit. Nobody wants it. So I'm just stuck with like 2 full couches shoved into my living room right
I was
now.
going to say, is it like outside, back behind the apartment building, just being a sad couch?
No, because I live on a 3rd floor. And so I have to get somebody to help me take it down the stairs. And then I thought we could just like walk it to the dumpster that's like at the end of my block of buildings. But no, the apartment complex wants you to take large furniture to a specific dumpster at the back of the complex.
Yeah.
So now I have to figure out how to get it down and find a vehicle it will fit in to drive it the 2 minutes to the other side of the complex. And it keeps snowing. My stairs are covered in snow. It's 1 degree outside. So there's a lot of factors I got to wait for in order to get rid of this old couch.
Now, there's a big storm that's kind of in the middle of the country right now, or is like forming. Are you gonna be hit by that storm? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Maybe. It is snowing right now, that could be part of it.
Maybe, yeah. Because it snowed for us the other day. We got a good couple inches, 2 inches. It's not much, but enough. And they shut down the school that I work for on Friday, yesterday. But of course, they were like, that's only for like if you had something on campus. If your classes were virtual or if you're working from home, continue on as normal. And I was just like,
yeah,
screw you, COVID.
Right.
You take something else from us. Snow days.
Yeah, you're never going to get a snow day
like
again.
how nice would that have been if they were just like, look, it's snowing. The university needs to shut down. I know we're all working from home, so technically we don't need to, but we could all just like, we deserve it, right? Like,
No.
how awesome would that be to just be like, just take a day, have fun, go play in the snow. That's what I like if I own like a large company or corporation or something, that's the boss I'm going to be. I'm just be like, you know what? Take the day off. Everyone,
a
go.
whole day.
Yeah, take the whole day. Do what you want.
But,
Paid leave. Go.
But
have fun.
What are your patrons going to think when they write in and they get an auto message saying, hey, the entire company is having a personal day today. There's no backup. There's nobody here to answer you.
Then I will have an automated response that says, try again tomorrow. If at first you don't succeed, try again.
Well, what if you had like personal days, but it's in like shifts, like it's block schedule? Like, okay, group A gets personal day on Friday. Group B gets personal day on Monday.
I mean, that could work. That could work too.
Yeah.
But just like the whole thing
I'm extremely worried about coverage
of
fictional coverage.
I'm just imagining the idea of like a spontaneous day of just like, you know what? I don't feel like working. None of us should be here. Let's go to the park.
None of us should be here.
Yeah.
I think that happened to my brother once when he worked at my company. Yeah.
Interesting.
Like years before I took over his job and then they moved me around and I have the job I have now. Like I think his specific department, his little pod of like 6 people, like they were slow on work and the boss was like, I'm just going to take us all to the movies. So I hope you're all excited to see Jodie Foster in Flight Plan.
That's wonderful. Yeah. That just seems so it's so fun. To do something like that because you don't hear about things like that. That's just like, this is weird. I don't know if I like this, but I do. But it's weird. But I'm fine with it. Let's go to the movies. Why not? You know?
Some days I do dream about, not that I want any harm to come to our beloved building, but I'm like, what if there was just like some weird fluke and like all our servers are down or something? And they're like, well, can't work with that.
Absolutely. It's like, well, I guess we can't really do anything until they fix it. So have fun. Go bowling or something. I don't know. Yeah. Man. There
was one day in high school. It was supposed to be the first day of class, like the first day of my junior year.
Oh, wow.
Which was going to be my first day at this high school because they like redrew the district boundaries between sophomore and junior years. So I went from the Central High to the West High.
Oh, man.
That day, like there was a power outage or something. Like I think there would be a bad storm the night before. So the first day of school had to be canceled because they didn't have any power.
Wow.
We had this weird bonus day of summer. And we're like, Mom, we got to do something special. It's this bonus day of summer. My mom, who had planned on like spending that day on housework and things, she's like, well, okay, I have to do like 10 things. But then when I'm done, I'll take you guys to the mall and we'll do mini golf.
Yeah.
So it was, I got this exciting extra bonus day of summer of waiting around, waiting for my mom to finish dishes or whatever it was she was doing.
There you go. Well, apparently we didn't have our audio on for a while there, so we've just been podcasting into the void. Wonderful. Thank you for that. Rachel is
Thanks
in
for
the chat
notice.
right now. There you go.
Hello.
Our first Twitch subscriber too.
Ooh.
So yeah, I'm excited. Melissa, I have a bit of a nightmare to share with you.
Okay.
So since the pandemic started and we've all been quarantining, I have been buying my groceries online and having them delivered to me. And I get them through Amazon. And I just, go in the app. They have their whole like grocery section called Amazon Fresh. And you just pick out what you want. They deliver it within like a 2-hour window of like, hey, I want them delivered tomorrow. And then they have like time slots. And it's worked fantastically. There's been some times where it's like, okay, they don't have the brands you want, or they don't have this specific thing, but then you can just, you can search for something else and find it. And for the most part, it's been wonderful. However, since I have one of their smart devices, the Amazon Alexa things, which I don't know if you can just see my thing lit up right back there. That every so often it will display that it has a notification, right? And it will notify you when a package has arrived or your groceries have arrived, stuff like that. Every so often, though, it will give you a recommendation of like, hey, based on your order history, like we think you might like this thing. Or in my case, like, hey, based on your order history, it might be about time to buy this thing again. I don't mind that feature. Don't really need it, but I don't mind it. Except for the fact that for an entire year, the only thing it has ever recommended that I buy more of is applesauce.
They're watching out for your health.
Right.
You gotta stay away from those doctors.
So I get what I like to call my Spaceman Applesauce. And it's the brand is Go-Go Squeeze. And it's just these like little packets of applesauce with like I mean, it's a pouch. It's not the ones that you get in the like cups and stuff like that. And it's fine. It's wonderful. It's like one serving of that stuff. And it's great. And for some reason, it's just a nightmare that it's just like, hey, it might be about time to buy more applesauce. And I'm just like, no, Alexa, stop. I don't need this. I still have half of it left. Like, don't.
How often? Like, so how much applesauce do you think Alexa thinks you ingest in a week?
Probably quite a bit.
Is it presuming that like you're buying these for some children?
Probably.
And it's like, Kyle, clearly you're buying all these applesauce pouches for children. The children have gone through the applesauce because it's all they eat.
It's like a grown man buying Trix yogurt or like go-gurt, right? It's like, here's the like kiddie version of applesauce.
Go-gurt is functional. Trix yogurt, all you get is the two colors, and that's the only benefit of it.
And more sugar.
Yeah. If Oikos just started having two colors, Trix yogurt, it's out the game.
Right. But like, so like I buy the like big box of it. So I think it's like 20 of these packets that are in there. So I buy them about once a month. Yeah. Maybe every 3 weeks, maybe every 5 weeks, somewhere in there.
See, you ingest approximately one applesauce per day.
Yes, that is the goal. Okay. Sometimes 2, sometimes none, right? None applesauce. But yeah, just know like, hey, we see you've also bought bread. Maybe it's about time you buy a new loaf of bread. No, none of that. No, like, hey, you seem to like pizza. Why not buy another pizza? No, it's always applesauce every single goddamn time. and I don't know how to turn it off. I can't figure it out. I can't like find the notification setting to be like, stop recommending me applesauce.
Or like put it on, rotation. Put it on shuffle. Stop going to the first alphabetical item that I buy.
Recommend me something else. But just
no. I can imagine that they have a surplus of applesauce. They got too much of it. They got to get that thing moving. But to have this happen over like a year, like the year of too much applesauce.
It's like toilet paper all sold out, like pizza all sold out, like all that, like all the good things or the things you want or might need all sold out. But then there's just the lonely applesauce that has been like just like we have so much stock. Oh my God, what are we gonna do?
You're gonna be like the 30th million customer. You win a sweepstakes, and the sweepstakes is a year's worth of applesauce.
Yeah, that's gonna be you're our greatest customer. Thank you.
You have to change your name to Applesauce Lord.
Oh no.
You're gonna go back to
Pizza
the office
Lord,
eventually,
no
and you're like, guys, I'm great. Yeah, I'm happy to see you. Here, I brought in treats for the entire office. And you just
boxes of
place
applesauce.
a giant box of applesauce pouches. All right, team, eat up. Let's get back to work.
We gotta stay healthy.
Yeah, instead of donuts, your office is supplied with applesauce pouches.
But it's been a nightmare, and I don't understand it. I'm like, why? Why this one thing? It's weird.
You've fallen through so many technical glitches in reality. Like this, every time, like, this seems like it happens to you a lot. Like, you order something and you never get it. Or, like, you got charged for a Squarespace site you never made. MeUndies never has the socks you want. Like,
I hate it. So I think MeUndies has finally caught up to, like, they had their new warehouse. They seem to be doing a lot better of, like, we have things in stock, and I've not had an issue with them for a little bit. But that seems to be fixed. But yeah, I just like the whole thing with like Squarespace stealing my money and then being like, well, we can't prove that we stole it. And it's like, well, yeah, I have my bank account that says you did, like, and they're just like, well, that's not really evidence. So just like, well, God damn it. I don't know.
My only problem is I got a couch too fast. So I'm stuck with this horrendous 2-couch lifestyle.
Yeah.
All my furniture's in a different place. It's so disorienting.
Man. Oh, well. Speaking about things moving too fast. Let's talk about... So you put this trailer on here for M. Night Shyamalan's new movie called Old.
I'm fascinated by this because this seems like a parody of what an M. Night Shyamalan movie would be.
This seems right up his alley,
like a sketch from Robot Chicken or something. Yeah, it's a 30-second Super Bowl ad trailer. And it's just a family goes on a vacation to an island. When they get to the island, everybody's aging super fast.
Yep.
So like this 20-year-old man comes out from behind a rock and his mom's like, but you were 6 years old an hour ago. Everyone's just old. They become old. That's it.
That's it. It just like I've been looking at the comments and everyone is just like, plot twist, it's this thing, or like plot twist, it's that thing. But yeah, like that's the trailer. But then they have like plot twist, they died young.
Yeah.
What is another good one?
It cracks me up that the movie is just called Old. It's so blatant. They do this joke on the Blank Check Movie podcast where they'll state the name of the movie and then say, what if, and then state the name of the movie again.
Yeah.
Where they're like, the Great Mouse Detective. What if there was a Great Mouse Detective?
Old.
Back to the Future.
What if old?
What if you went back? Yeah. Old. What if they were old? I've been doing this to myself all week. And they have to cover this movie because they covered all of M. Night Shyamalan's other movies.
Amazing.
So later this year, I get to hear Griffin and David do this joke to me for real.
Like, I personally don't think M. Night Shyamalan is a bad filmmaker.
No.
I think he's gotten a bad rap and he got put through it in the whole studio process, right? And that's kind of tarnished his name. And he is known for the, like, I have the twist. Yeah, you know, he has that stuff. But then we covered his Unbreakable trilogy.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful. Like, there's some great movies.
I think even if I don't always like the narrative that he is telling, I like how he tells it. I like how he illustrates a story to us, how he makes a point, how he works with the camera, with the music, how he blocks actors, things like that.
Yeah.
So, like, he can have the most bonkers premise, and I'll still watch it just to see how he does it.
Yep. It's going to be interesting because he's done so many movies like this before with The Happening. I mean, like, he has a certain style. He has a certain taste in, like, this is the story I want to tell. And I don't know if it's working out for him.
I don't know. It seems hit and miss, but when it hits, I think it really hits.
It does, but I think it's when he's almost stepped out of that things have kind of really worked. Right. Mm-hmm. But then he also, I mean, like, his stuff is also fairly simple of what if old, right? What if the plants did it? What if this secret society is actually in present day? Like, what it's very simple stuff, which I
the
tend to
what
usually
if there was
like.
A village?
Right. Yeah. What if it's just a village in modern times?
What if you have 5 senses? What if you had another one and it was Ghost?
What if 6 Sense? But like it's I admire that his premises are actually they tend to be very simple. One of my favorite comic book writers does that same thing, or has a number of books that do that same thing. Brian K. Vaughan. He's written The Runaways. He's written Paper Girls, which I will actually mention in a bit here. Good God, is that a heater? Can you hear that?
I hear a noise.
It's like a low rumble. I don't know if that's gonna make it into the podcast, but man, that thing was just like strange. Okay, but yeah, they take these really simple premises of like, you know how every kid has felt like their parents are the bad guys. What if their parents really were the bad guys, right? And that's The Runaways. And like I like when they do that, because then it's super simple, people can follow it, and then they can focus on characters and stuff like that. I don't know if Old is really gonna focus on the characters, but I'm
sure it will. Like, he always does very small scale stories. Like, they're not these big all-encompassing plots with a lot of mythology to them. You spend time with, like, a very small pocket of people.
Sure, yeah.
And, like, how whatever the eerie problem is affects their lives.
Yeah. What if eerie problem is M. Night Shyamalan? What if strange problem?
Yes.
But yeah. I didn't watch any of the Super Bowl or the commercials or stuff like that.
Yeah, this is all I know. I watched all of the Puppy Bowl and the trailer for Old.
This and the trailer for Falcon and Winter Soldier. How are you feeling about that?
Yes, them too.
How are you feeling
I
about
look
Falcon
forward
and
to
Winter
that.
Soldier?
It looks like just a fun action time. I'm excited to see Madripoor and get to go somewhere new.
Yeah, I'm interested. I don't know if this trailer did anything to excite me, though. like it just
Yeah.
to me it almost seemed very bland. Of like I still don't really know what it's about. Like I do, but I don't. I don't know. I feel like since this was going to be one of the first things that we got, it's now not. But I mean, I guess it still is one of the first things in the new
it is the second thing
phase, which I think it was also going to be the second thing.
It was. I think
it was going to be Black Widow.
It was always,
and then
I think
this.
it was supposed to be the first show, but yeah, I think it was going to follow Black Widow.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I'm excited for the show. I was way more excited about WandaVision than I am this show. And so I think this is going to play it safe and just be like, here's the action like that from Marvel films. See, we can make it a TV show too. And it's going to be like, okay, this is good. I like this.
Yeah, I think WandaVision and Loki, which I think will be the next one after Falcon and Winter Soldier. I think that one's for late summer. Like those are weirder. Those are bigger swings. Those are a little bit more reality breaking. Whereas this just seems like just like a solid, straightforward action espionage tale.
Right.
There's not really anything wrong with that, but it is a little bit less shiny.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm still excited.
Yeah.
Right? But it's just, I think this is going to be what we know. They're not going to be really changing the formula or stuff like that, which WandaVision has been doing nonstop, which has been wonderful. That show is great. Which I'm excited to talk about it once it's all done, because we've been the whole thing of like, if we do it like week in and week out here on the Captain's Log, it's just gonna be a WandaVision podcast.
Right? Yeah, it'll take over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're waiting till the end to finish up with that one. But I know we've talked a little bit about doing Falcon and Winter Soldier as a reactor core thing.
I think my idea was we do an episode at the halfway point and one at the end.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, because
we cover like 4 or 5 episodes per podcast.
I'm up for that. I also want to try. There has to be another show. It might just be we have to wait till Loki comes out. But I also want to try doing let's do really short ones on every episode.
I'd be into that.
15, 20 minutes. Let's just sit here and talk and say our thoughts, and that's it. And that's what we put out on the reactor core, which would then kind of fit into what I want that show to be more like. I do want it to be more of a YouTube thing, which they like shorter content. Like, hey, here's a 15-minute video. Here's our reactions to Loki #2, right? Here's that stuff. So I think we can do something like that too down the road. We'll see. We're still playing with that show. And by playing, I mean it's just sitting there collecting dust while we're just like, what do we do with it?
Right. Oh, well, there hasn't been anything that has, I don't know. A reactor core is a special place to be, and nothing's quite been that special for a little while.
I don't know. Like there are things that I think we could do. Like if more people were interested in the little things, we could have done one on that. There's the Black Panther movie that came out this week on HBO Max. That I'm super interested in seeing. Not the Marvel one.
It took me a second to figure out what you were talking about. That's Judas and the Black Messiah?
Yes, yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm super interested in that film. Like there are things coming out we could do. We got new trailers to stuff. Like I still want to do a trailer thing, like we did the Patreon exclusive stuff where we were reacting to different trailers from different from different decades. I think we could do that regularly just on the normal show and be like, hey, let's watch trailers to mystery films, or let's watch trailers to rom-coms and talk about that, like we can do stuff with that show. But yeah, it just hasn't lined up yet, if that makes sense. So
yeah,
I don't know, but yeah, excited for Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but still just like, yeah, it'll be good. It's like just flat, plain.
I'm sure it will have its mind-blowing moments. This seems like a show that could set up a lot of things.
I think so.
And I just don't quite know what it will set up and how. Like, I'm sure months from now I'll be like, that was amazing. That completely opened the door to this new thing, but I just can't totally feel it yet here on the other side.
Yeah, I'm like, because between Black Widow, Falcon and Winter Soldier, and the Eternals, and even Shang-Chi, like, I don't know how those are all going to fit into this next big saga, right? And this next big story that they're trying to tell. We know that they're making a Secret Invasion show, so we know Skrulls are probably going to be involved some way, somehow. We don't know, but that's the thing. Like, we don't know how these are factoring in. Is this setting up some kind of A plot or B plot to WandaVision's like multiversal plot, and that's gonna start waving in and out and stuff like that? Like, I don't know, and I'm so excited.
Yeah, it seems like we're going to deal with multiverse and we're going to deal with Skrulls, but we don't know, is one of those the next sort of Infinity Saga level? Or I think they said they were going to do overarching storylines, but nothing quite on that scale again. It's just going to be more smaller things, which is fine.
Yes, yeah. I think with the TV shows, it's an interesting thing because I think the TV shows are really where they can build out the characters and the world and stuff. And then they can just have like an Avengers, Infinity War, and Endgame style, just like, boom, this is the next big thing. If you haven't watched the shows, you'll understand this, but it'll be fine. But it's just gonna be like a normal superhero film to you. But if you've watched all of this stuff, like, this is gonna be like the cornerstone, big thing, right? Because they have a bunch of like the X-Men stuff that they could start doing, all the Fantastic Four stuff that they can start doing. Yeah. And yeah, like, I don't think they can put out movies fast enough to satiate that hunger, right? It's just like, we want the X-Men and Spider-Man and the Avengers and all of that. And, and it's just like,
we
it's
have
going
a
to
fork
be a big
in each hand and we're pounding
mess.
our fists on the table. Yeah.
Right. And so I think TV shows is where most of the action is going to happen going forward. I don't know.
Yeah, it's exciting. Like, we know assorted ingredients of what they're going to be setting up, but you're right. Things like, I'm very excited for the Eternals and Shang-Chi, but we don't know anything about them. We don't know anything about them or how they will fit into other things. What's Shang-Chi going to have to do with Falcon and the Winter Soldier? We have to wait and see.
Yeah. Who knows? We shall see.
I want to talk for a bit about Spider-Man.
Go for it.
Yeah, because you wrote down here in the notes that there was some interview Tom Holland gave where he denied that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are appearing in Spider-Man 3, Homecoming 3.
Yeah, he was like, that seems odd. They haven't told me that. That seems like a big thing to hide from me. Is he lying? I feel like he's lying.
That was also a guess from me, because we have some precedent for this where Tatiana Maslany was like, no, I'm not She-Hulk.
Exactly.
And then a week later it was like, yeah, Tatiana Maslany is She-Hulk.
Yep. Also, Kate Bishop. They did the same thing with her where I forget the actress's name. But they were like, she's gonna be Kate Bishop in the new Hawkeye series, and then they like officially was like, no, that's not happening. And it was like, but we have set photos, and they're just like, no, that's not her, that's not happening. And then they officially was like, she's gonna be Kate Bishop, and they were like, see, we were right. And then like Hulk appearing in the trailer for Infinity War and stuff like that. Yeah, like I'm wondering if because there's been a few things like this. There was also the rumor that Captain America, that Chris Evans was coming back as Captain America for something, and he tweeted out, "That's news to me." But again, it just seems like I think Marvel now has such a handle on, like, hey, we want to announce this at a specific date. We will, like, please deny this. Like, I don't know if they're like being like, hey, we'll pay you an extra nickel if you say no, right?
Tom Holland takes his one nickel to the candy store and buys a single bubble gum.
Keep the change, you filthy animal. But yeah, like I there's that, but there's also the whole thing with Tom Holland just completely spoiling things and not realizing it. Like he's done that so many times that they have to like put him on lock. That seems like something they would like not like specifically not tell him. Like, let's just leave him out of the loop until he has to do that scene. Right?
Yeah.
And then we do all of that scene in one day. And from here on out, we just say, this never happened. Deny it. Whatever you do, deny this thing. In fact, we're taking your socials away. Like, no phone for you. But yeah, like that, because that's the thing. We haven't gotten like official word that they've been in there. I feel like I don't think we've pretty concrete stuff though. That it was like, hey, this is happening.
No. Okay, so we have Jamie Foxx confirmed, Alfred Molina confirmed.
Yeah.
I believe, is it confirmed that we're going to see J.K. Simmons again? Or at least it seems pretty likely.
I would say that seems likely since they introduced him.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't imagine they'd put him in a post-credit scene only and then he's not in the sequel to that movie. We'll see. But I think everything else has been more of like a very soft rumor. I don't think I have heard anything about any other previous Spider-Man cast members returning that feels very tangible. Right.
Yeah.
So I've been worried about this lately. I'm like, what? So many of us are thinking, oh, this is a sham. This is a red herring. They're trying to like downplay our expectations so that we can be surprised, or that they can have a big announcement once like all the paperwork is signed or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, what if it is true? Like, what if we are all building ourselves up for a thing that is not happening? Which I think is a thing we're liable to do right now when there is so little going on. Like, speculation is just our pastime now. We just fill the day with speculation, with daydreaming, with imagining these lights at the end of the tunnel. Like, well, it's been a tough year, but at the end of the year, I get to go see Spider-Man 3, and this is what Spider-Man 3 is going to be. And like, we've all worked ourselves up so much that it's like, we've established a new canon. Like, yeah, Toby and Andrew are going to be in there, right? Of course they are. They are.
I think that this also specifically for Spider-Man, I think this also has to do with the success of Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
That movie was wildly successful. They're making Into the Spider-Verse 2. I think it's coming next year, I believe, in 2022. And I'm super excited. What's interesting is that story in the comics is very recent. Like it's a brand new story. Like that whole concept of like this multiversal spider story is a brand new thing. And I'm wondering if because of the success of that film, Sony was really trying to influence this to be more like that film. Like, what if we do a live action version of Into the Spider-Verse? And I think people, and who knows, maybe they have not been, but I think also on the consumer side, like us as fans, I think a lot of us have also been doing that too, of just like, they can do the multiverse. They can do this Spider-Man and that Spider. They can bring in Tobey Maguire. They can bring in Andrew Garfield. It's a multiverse. We saw it in Into the Spider-Verse. Why can't they have it be in this thing too? And it's like, I don't actually want that. Like, I do, but I don't. Like, I don't want this to be a live action version of Into the Spider-Verse, if that makes sense. Like, I want this to be its own thing and to be distinct from that. And I guarantee you, Kevin Feige wants the same thing. He wants this to be its own distinct thing. But also, if it's the right story to tell, then I'm A-okay with that too, you know?
Yeah, and I believe you can do another Spider-Verse and have it still feel very distinct
right.
from Into the Spider-Verse. I think this would be a great opportunity to have sort of a meta look back on the nature of superhero film and how this does keep being rebooted, how it keeps looping over and over and over again. And you try these things and you don't work, and you try it again and it doesn't work, and you've got it a third time. And like having a character within the film look at these other like sliding door mirror verses of other versions of himself, of other Peters. Like, I think that could have an emotional impact on us, the fans who lived through all this. And that can do a lot for the character. Like, they could make it competently play on a variety of levels. Yeah. Like, I think we've got a decent enough basis for this to be like a solid hypothesis.
Sure.
For Spider-Man 3. But I am worried, like, we've spent like 2 years hoping for a thing and it's not going to be that thing.
Yeah.
Which there isn't a way around it. You know, we got to hope. That's all we have to do with our lives.
Just kind of more so expecting all of these actors that have been confirmed to be more cameos, except for maybe the villains, like especially maybe Alfred Molina, since he's a fan favorite, right? Like because if they are spinning up the Sinister Six, like he would be a great one to be a part of that. But I think it'd be really difficult to do a movie with so many characters. I mean, Marvel knows how to do that. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I want this to focus on Tom, right? I don't want this to be like, okay, now we need to give enough screen time to Andrew Garfield, and now we need to give enough screen time to Toby and Alfred, and it's just like I don't. I want a good Tom Holland Spider-Man story. Make it about him.
I'm sure they won't like leave that by the wayside. Like, I would be disappointed if we got this amazing Spider-Verse story, but like Ned was barely in it, right? I believe in their ability to do it. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
But I am like trying to meter my expectations of, okay, now you can have fun imagining.
Right.
You gotta like, stop building this thing up in your head like, oh, well, it'll be this. You know, they're being cagey with the details, but it'll be that, right?
When outside of Marvel have you done something like this? Like, has there been a movie or franchise or book or something that was like you were so excited for and just thinking about like, this is what it could be, or at least just like, I'm so hyped, my expectations are so like insanely high.
It has happened to me with like book adaptations before. I remember being in like 8th grade and going to see the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy movie, and like my friends and I just being like, they got that wrong. That spaceship's not that color.
This wasn't it, fam.
Just being like fussy teens.
Yeah.
You know? And I look back and like I watched that movie a couple years ago and I'm like, that's fine. Like, yeah, you know, a lot of the details aren't the same, but like it's not bad as it is as its own thing.
Yeah.
You know, like I think it's happened to me in the past, but it is something I've learned to work with as I get older. I think the only thing that's disappointed me recently was we watched Ready or Not, and in my head that was much more of a a Clue type of a movie.
I gotcha.
It was going to be like all these escapades within this mansion and like all these secret rooms and hidden passageways and like, oh, you pull this book off the bookshelf and it opens this mechanism, and it's just all these characters like infighting over each other within this mansion, and it's more of a horror action film. I'm like, this is still fine, but I really liked that Clue type movie I was imagining. Yeah,
I gotcha. I think the most recent thing for me was the video game Cyberpunk. I'm still super excited. Like what I've played of the game was really cool. But yeah, it was just in a state that was just broken, and they're not releasing the like next gen version of the game for PlayStation 5 and the new Xboxes till like fall of this year. So I'm basically waiting an entire year to play that game, even though I've already bought it and I have it.
Oh no.
Yeah. So like that's the one thing of like I have high expectations, and it was just a disappointment. And it was just like
yeah, but I guess you have yet to see if it totally was a disappointment. Like the setup,
that's
the method to which you get to play the game has been a disappointment. But when you finally get there, maybe it is the gameplay you want.
Difference with video games is that they can change them as the years go on. They can fix them and update them.
Yeah, you can't patch a movie.
Well, unless you're George Lucas, but
well, yeah, but like you can patch like the visuals of a movie, or like when they replaced cats with better cats. But like, and I guess you can do like a Blade Runner. And like, going back to the cyberpunk inspiration, like you can re-edit Blade Runner. But yeah, it is not upgraded, like totally changed in the way like a video game patch would change your gameplay.
I feel like the only other thing that's done that, like the movies that have done that are Star Wars. They've completely like changed some of the scenes and what those scenes mean and stuff like that. And then most recently, Zack Snyder's Justice League, his Snyder cut,
which might be the closest thing to an equivalent of a patch, because it does involve so much new material and so much like intense reconstruction.
Right. Yeah. Which is baffling to me that it's like, hey, it's not just like we have all this extra film that just went unused for the theatrical cut that we're putting into a new version. It's like, no, we're writing new scenes and filming them that we never filmed before. And those are going into the movie. And we're just basically redoing the movie, it seems like. I'm just like, let's make this into something else. Like that is weird to me. It's wild. Like I don't think I've seen that for a movie, period.
Yeah, and it is. It had a lot of fan support, but it seems to be driven a lot by the creator wanted another chance at doing this with the vision that he had. And I am intrigued to see if we will get things like this happening again in the future. If some directors like, I really want to try my third film again. I wasn't where I wanted to be with that film.
Sam is in the chat and says, AHS Hoot, what? I'm guessing that's American Horror Story, which would be a good example of that. But I think that's a show that's built around that. I think that's what you're talking about, Sam, where like the premise is, hey, every single season, it's the same actors, but like a new story. We're like redoing that, which is a good example of that. I totally forgot. I wish that show Prison Break. Do you remember that show?
Yes.
I wish they did that, where every season was a new, like was like the same actors, but just like a new scenario. Right?
Yeah, or like, one season's like a heist. They have to break into somewhere. One season is like a Clue locked room mystery.
Right? Yeah, because that show,
anything that involves some sort of breaking in or out.
That first season of that show was brilliant. And then second season was not as good, but it was like, I understand that this is the logical next step for where the show would go.
Yeah.
And then like third and fourth season was just like, oh no, this is bad. This is really bad. And it just kept going downhill. But I think what I would like to see is more so what you mentioned of like a director or a filmmaker going back to another movie that they made before, but instead of like shooting a few new scenes and stitching them in and, you know, like making this big collage of old and new stuff that he had before, just redo the entire thing. Like I would want to see that, like recast it, just rewrite the film completely. Just redo it. I would want to see that. And I think there may have been one or two examples of that out there.
I'm sure like if I really stopped and thought, I could think of one, but not off the top of my head, no.
Right. And I know we've gotten like remakes from other creators, but I want to see a remake from the same creator. If that makes
I guess
sense.
the closest thing I can think of is like the Evil Dead movies. Like Evil Dead 2 is just sort of like evil. I think is like Evil Dead 1 again, but better, but enhanced.
Yeah.
Or maybe Army. I think that's how it goes. I haven't seen those movies in a long time.
I don't know, but that would be interesting because I think in the music scene, that's rarely happened. And then the first major example of that is Kanye. Kanye West, he put out an album, and then like an hour afterwards was like, wait, hold up, I'm taking it down and I'm replacing a song. And like the new version of the song that's up there, that's the one you can hear, and you can now no longer hear that like the original version of that song. And yeah, it's a weird thing, but it's so common in video games. Like, oh yeah, we're fixing this thing, we're patching that thing, we're swapping out that thing. Yeah, it's wild. We live in strange times, indeed.
What if we redid a podcast episode?
Honestly, that'd be kind of great. Go back and do episode 1 of the Whatnauts podcast. Like we've recast Paul as Melissa.
This is something we've thought about doing, is like covering one old Whatnauts topic again, you know,
so
with me this time.
Now that you actually mention that, I do actually, I've been meaning to mention this. And it's just every single week for the past like 2 months now has completely slipped my mind. I want to open up the topics on the review show to anything that we've covered on the Whatnauts podcast.
Oh, nice.
Now. I feel like we're far enough away that we're probably not going to do most of the stuff that we did at the end of our original Whatnauts podcast. But even if we did, it's long enough. That's been like, it's been a few years since I've seen that. Like, and I'm talking about it with someone new. Why not?
Yeah, and something like The Big O, which is something I have always been disappointed you already covered. Like, you can come to that show again with a different interpretation because it is so weird and mysterious.
I need to watch that show again sometime. Like, that needs to be like every 5 years or something. Just go back and watch that show because it is just, it is a mind fuck of just like, what is this?
Yeah.
It's wild. It's amazing.
Does anyone know?
It's so bad. But it's so good. But it's just what is this? So yeah, like there's a bunch of things in there that I think I would want to revisit. There's one thing we covered, which we covered in its entirety on the Whatnauts review show. And then they did something similar to what we were just talking about, where they, where the creators of that thing was like, yes, we are done. That is the story that we wanted to make. And then years afterwards was like, actually, we have a second story and we're going to return to it and continue the story. And instead of being like, this is volume 1 of this sequel, they're just like, this is volume 7 of the thing.
What?
And yeah, just like it's basically just a continuation of the story. And I'm like, now we have to go back. We have to go back, Jack. But like, yeah, like there's things like that. There's things we covered that I'm like, oh, Melissa would like this. Like, we have to do that thing. Or like you said, there's things that we did that you want to watch and be like, I want to watch that too. Help me. Like,
you're right. I want to talk about EOS 10.
Yeah. So I officially say everything that we covered on the Whatnauts podcast is up for grabs. We can watch it or cover it again.
Nice.
So there you go. Make it official. It's law.
Good. Confirmed.
Good stuff. Let's see. Something else that I want to do actually here on the Captain's Log. I've mentioned it a few times. I want to do like a snack tasting podcast.
Yes.
Like I know not everyone likes the sound of people eating on microphones, and I don't want to eat into the mic, but like I want to do a thing where we get like a bunch of those like strange flavored Kit Kats or something, and like review them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Melissa, we need to decide what do we want to do for that, because I've had this idea and I've mentioned it, and it's just like, we should do that someday.
I do want to do this. This sounds exciting. I love snacks. And I think since we're also a video podcast, like if people don't like if they normally listen on headphones and like the sound of eating in headphones is too much, you can watch the video, you know, coming through your speakers on your TV, and it's like a little removed.
I put noise gates and stuff on all our mics and stuff like that. So a lot of the like smaller sounds don't even come through.
I'll eat small.
Yeah.
I'll eat little.
Dream big, eat small.
I thought about getting a box of assorted like Valentine's candies. And then like next week, I just like hold the candy up to the camera like, okay, Kyle, what do you think it is?
I kind of did that once, like a year ago or something.
But you only had 3 pieces. It was a very small box.
It was, and I was like, so I already ate half of these, but
yeah, and like you just announced it. I would like to visually guess. I just hold up like a chocolate circle. I'm like, all right, what's in here? Coconut? Caramel? The imagination is yours.
Yeah, like I think something like that would be neat, or like a spicy snack. Like get a bunch of hot.
Oh, I don't do spicy,
fries.
Kyle.
Ooh, you don't do spicy?
No, I don't. No, I do not.
Man, bummer. Can't do
I'm a baby.
Hot fries. Which
well,
hot
you
fry is
can, and I'll sit
fry?
over here eating the Kit Kats.
Which hot fry is the hottest fry? How much hot fries could a hot fry fry if a hot fry could hot fries?
Do you have red hot riplets out there?
I don't know. I'm not super familiar with all the like hot, spicy, hot things.
Okay, because that might just be a St. Louis thing. That's our big hot fries. I will mail you a bag of red hot riplets if you do this challenge.
I'll have to see. Maybe I can get them on Amazon. What are they exactly? You say is it riplets with a P or riblets with a B? Like a
they're called red hot riplets. I think they're like a wiggle fry. You know, they're a ruffle. Red hot riplets from Old Vienna brand chips. Oh yeah. Yeah, when you Google it, the first result is Red Hot Riplets, Old Vienna of St. Louis. So I guess this is just our thing.
Okay.
Yeah, Red Hot Riplets are big over here.
Yep.
Yeah, you can get like Red Hot Riplets sauce and like flavor powder over stuff all over the place.
Seen those.
I will send you these. Look, there's somebody's holding the chip up in front of the arch.
I
Our two
see
great
that,
treasures.
yeah. See if we can get that on. Bam, there you go. The not golden arches.
Our silver friend.
Yeah, the silver arch. There you go.
I like the idea of doing like a bunch of weird flavor variants of one thing, like Kit Kats or Pop Tarts or M&Ms.
Yeah, it needs to be something that we can.
I could go to World.
Get.
I could go to World Market and buy just a ton of international snacks and then mail you a box.
We could
because we also have to make sure we both have the same things.
Yeah, that's why. Like, I feel like we need to plan it out of like, okay, we want to go for like a chocolate that has a bunch of varieties from the same brand, right? Like the different flavored Kit Kats or the different flavored M&Ms or stuff like that, or like weird Oreo flavors.
I want one
like
of
that.
Every Ritter Sport. I want one of every Ritter.
One of every Ritter. I don't even. What are Ritters? I know them. Ritter.
Yeah, it's like a chunky square, like kind of
Is it like
it's like some sort of a biscuit. Yeah, it's like a biscuit covered in chocolate. They do sell like a ton of varieties of these at World Market. I always want them.
Yeah, they're a pretty common staple in like candy stores and chocolate stores, and
yeah, they're like slightly fancy.
Right. Yeah, it's the like
you couldn't get them at a gas station.
I mean,
I don't even think you could get them at
like
Schnucks. You'd have to
really
go to
fancy
Dearborn.
like Sheets or Wawa or something like that.
Yeah,
where it's like
however fancy a Sheets gets.
Right. That'd be funny. I see them on eBay. $48 for a variety pack. Jeez. No, I would rather you not mail me something, because I feel like that's going to be a lot of extra work to do. Whereas if it's something that we can just buy on Amazon or on like some like on the store's actual website or something, or is it like then I think we should do that. What? Yeah, I would be down for like a chocolate or something.
That sounds good. I can eat a lot of chocolate.
Yeah, some kind of candy. The hot fries are a no. Though to be honest, would make great content to make Melissa eat spicy things.
No, I'll just cry the whole time.
God,
I don't like them.
Me do this?
Just heat tears.
Right.
I'm just sweaty and like I am the person that if I eat something mildly hot, like I begin to sweat. Like I can't take it.
Good stuff. Man, I don't know. What's a good thing? What's another good thing? I'm thinking of things that have a lot of flavors, but I'm like, no, that's just stupid. Like Pringles. It's just like, who does that? No, we don't.
Yeah, and that's so many of it. You know,
we don't
like
have to
if
get
we
them all.
bought. No, but like if you for this thing, we would probably only eat like 2 Pringles out of a can, and then we just have like a row of like 10 cans. But I think if we do a candy, like a candy lasts for a while. If it's something in little individual packs like Kit Kat, then I can like take the bag of leftovers. Like if I was
Pass
back
it
in
out
my
to
office, I would bring them to the office. I could
friends,
give them to my parents.
I don't know.
I'd be down for like a Kit Kat, a Kit Kat or an M&M, because like an Oreo, I'd be down for that. But then they don't come in mini packs. I'd have to sign up for like 24 Oreos per flavor.
Yeah. Or it'd have to be something we do like over the course of a year, and we film it in secret and then release it. Bam, it's all happening at once.
Secret.
With our powers combined.
The hot drop you've been waiting for. We eat a bunch of Oreos. I'd be down for Pop-Tarts.
Pop-Tarts would be a good one, too. I like me some Pop-Tarts. Indeed. I say we go for some kind of chocolate. My vote is for the Kit Kats because I feel like that's the easiest and the most recognizable of like, hey, here's a chocolate that has some like weird flavors, but I don't know how readily available those are because I know some of them you have to import. But those ones
I'm
obviously
Googling it right
probably
now.
wouldn't do unless it was easy to get.
Yeah. Japanese Kit Kat variety party box.
Can you get them on Amazon?
You can. Oh, I'm looking at a different, it's $75.
Ooh.
And it says like party box, 60 pieces, which is more than one of us needs. Holy heck, is that a rum raisin? Oh my God. Well, if we did get this is what it has. Dark chocolate, matcha, dark matcha, whatever hojicha is, strawberry, almond, cranberry, and nuts, strawberry cheesecake, Kit Kat 4 cafe, red bean and strawberry, rum raisins, 3 different kinds of sake. This is a lot.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you want us to buy this box of Kit Kats, patreon.com/the Whatnauts is where you can support us for as little as $1 a month. If you want to make this happen, let's make it happen. Because I'd be okay with chipping in if we split it. And then I'd be okay with like, I'll just mail you half of them or something. Or you mail me half of them. I'd be fine with that. But yeah, if you guys out there really want to make this happen, patreon.com/the Whatnauts or support us here on Twitch, twitch.tv/the Whatnauts. You can subscribe. And if you have Amazon Prime, you have a free Twitch Prime subscription to give away. All you have to do is link your accounts, do all that stuff. Send us your money.
I found a good looking one on Amazon, but it's a random assortment. Like, I don't know. There'd probably be enough overlap, but we couldn't guarantee
that's it. That's the thing. I don't think you and I need to necessarily do the same ones as long as we each have them.
Oh, okay.
Right?
All right, then.
I'm not sure, but yeah. I think that'd be fun. We'll look into that a little bit more.
Right. We'll look at Kit Kats later.
Yeah, we'll look at more Kit Kats down the road and all that stuff. Let's see what else we got on here. I
reached some important milestones this week in addition to purchasing a couch.
Yeah?
I finally finished watching every episode of So Weird.
Oh, there you go.
The old Disney Channel original series about a girl that solves supernatural mysteries. And then she leaves the show and a different girl solves supernatural mysteries. And she just lives with the original girl's family.
Man, so how long has that been that you've been watching that show? When did Disney Plus come out? Because that was also the first thing, the first thing you watched when Disney Plus came out was
like November 6th, 2019.
Oh man.
I went through it very slowly. Like it's a fun show, but it's not necessarily riveting entertainment.
I gotcha. It's like a good
towards the end there.
Every now and then, I'm kind of bored tonight. I'm gonna watch an episode of So Weird.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But I've accomplished the entire thing. The final episode is a clips show. It's a clip episode. Yeah, it doesn't end in the most exciting way. I feel bad because it had a lot of really strong points to it. For all the episodes that are like, this is a kind of dull, mildly interesting oddity of the week, there are some great, spooky, speculative fiction, like really for, kids entertainment, very thrilling episodes in there.
Gotcha. Interesting.
Yeah. I'm happy I accomplished it.
There you go. Do you have something else that will then fill that gap of like, hey, now that I'm done with So Weird, I'm moving on to Clarissa Explains It All or something?
I don't know. I've been meaning to go back and watch the second season of Pen 15.
Okay.
Which is a Hulu original show we covered like 2 years ago on the review show that I liked. I wanted to see how that premise would continue.
Speaking of Pen 15, 2018, I posted an interview with the creator of Mr. Robot
Yes.
in our Discord. Apparently, Jack had already seen it and meant to post it, but just forgot. I found it on my own, though. But in there, he mentions that he really likes Pen 15. And that he thinks, he's like, I really like those actresses. I think it was a thing of like, if you could write for any show, like what show would you want to do? He's like, I kind of want to write for Pen 15. Like that would be really funny because that would be like outside of my comfort zone and stuff. Like that would be just the fact that he likes that show, I was just like, whoa, okay, huh. Interesting.
Nice.
Like it's neat to see.
They're very different shows, but I can see how
Absolutely.
the sense of humor that's in Mr. Robot kind of matches up with the sense of humor from Pin 15.
I don't know. Like that one was a curveball for me. I was just like, wow, okay, what a weird pick, but go for it, dude.
Good to hear.
Yeah. So you might go back to the second season of Pen 15 then.
Yeah, there's a lot of shows like we watched season 1 of for the review show, and I've told myself like, oh, I'd like to keep watching that, and I've never picked it back up again. Yeah,
that happens to me too, where we'll cover something and I'm just like, this was awesome. I need to continue this, and I just don't have time or stuff like that. And then every once in a while, I'll finally get to something where it's like, I've been meaning to get back to this. And quarantine has helped because I did finish all of Lucifer. I did that. They're still making that show, so there's gonna be another season, like the final season of that, I think is what's coming out next. But
and you watched all of Hannibal.
I did watch all of Hannibal. I finished that. We did do the Patreon exclusive thing for Mob Psycho 100 season 2.
Yeah.
But I just like every now and then there's something that's just like, I really want to keep watching this. So, but it's
from forever ago. It's from like it's from like 2018. But I want to watch the second season of Mystery Incorporated, that Scooby-Doo cartoon. It's a show I loved. I loved rewatching season 1, and like for a while now, I'm like, let me rewatch season 2.
Good.
Yeah. I also finished reading my giant Venture Brothers art book that you see back there. It's the size of a tombstone. It's huge. It's so comprehensive.
Yeah.
And I've been reading just like a little bit of it like every night. I finally got to the very touching afterword this week.
Was there something that stood out that you learned about the show that you didn't know, of just like, oh, look at this fun fact, or like, wow, that's what that character originally looked like?
It does go deep into like the original concepts of the show, and like it's an amazing archive of concept art. Like every little notebook doodle Jackson Public has ever done is like in this book.
Yeah.
It's wild. Yeah. I don't know. Just the amount of detail that they put into the show. Like there's parts where he's talking about like, this is the architect who I imagined would have designed this building. Like, when the Ventures moved to New York City and they've got that skyscraper they live in, he's like,
into like, this is the exact style that I want. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like he picked a real world architect and said, what if this guy designed it? This is what it would look like. Let's do something in this guy's style.
Interesting.
And like how much they think about these characters. Like there's a season 6 episode where Hank's trying to go on a date with Serena and he wants to impress her.
Yep.
And he's got like Dean and Billy and White doing all of these sketches. Like White has to play like a guy in the park who tries to mug them, and it's so Hank can defeat him and impress Serena and be a hero. Like Doc Hammer's talking about how he wrote all of that, and he's like, after all of that was done, I imagine that Dean and Billy and White went to Baskin Robbins and they got a bunch of samples. And Dean got a cone with 1 scoop, and White got a cup with 1 scoop, and Billy was full from the samples. That's what happened after that story was done. Like the fact that they think that deeply about everything that's going on that doesn't even make it onto the screen at all was fascinating and very touching.
That's awesome. Speaking of which, I actually want to read a tweet thread that I saw, I guess, last night or this morning. I don't remember. Go back in my likes and find this. Where was it here? Here we go. Here's a thread from one Christopher Cantwell, creator of Halt and Catch Fire, which we are covering on the review show at the end of each month for the next couple months. Says, okay, let's finally tell this story. 2017, Halt is ending. We go in. What do you want to do next? We want to do a story about an eccentric mental health rehab clinic that was once a hippie commune run by multiple generations of one family. The tagline was the Royal Zenenbaums. Done. He says we spend all of 2018 writing the pilot for a show that would come to be called Rainy Day People for AMC. Just like Halt, it was born 100% from our own heads, all character, a sweet and wonderful ensemble of good people. It was our pride and joy, our second series. We get greenlit to do a mini writer's room, which is what places do instead of shooting pilots now. We bring in Halt all-stars. Zach Whedon, Lisa Albert, Allison Tatlock, Angelina Burnett. It's a super group. We do the writer's room over 16 weeks in the first quarter of 2019. Executives change, leave, get replaced. We work our asses off, craft something new and beautiful and human. We argue, we create characters, we put in everything we have. Rogers and I do a pitch out of the first 6 episodes. Trusted execs from Halt days are in the room. The brand new head of programming is immediately on my right. We are at the head of the table. The new head nods off count it 4 times during the pitch out. The story we bled for, but we continue on. In the last 4 weeks of the room, alarms sound. Suddenly, we are on the bubble. People try to keep their jobs at the network. We are forced to jam episodes 2 and 3 into one script. It's a Frankenstein and an offense to the writing talent lending us their I cannot speak their efforts. Summer 2019, the network passes. The 6-script bundle includes an episode by our writer's assistant of 2 years that blows us all away. It's gorgeous. The show is canned. The scripts become 6 beautiful pieces of art that are now stacked in my garage by the extension cords. The executives, one by one, all leave. The shuffle goes on. Rainy Day People never happened. From the guys who brought you Halt and Catch Fire, nothing. But for a hot minute, we had something special. I'm broken up about it to this day. Then he makes a correction. Wait, Allison didn't write for Rainy Day People, but she is currently nominated for a WGA award for Better Call Saul. So there you go. But yeah, it's amazing sometimes the things that these creators make and think up and just like are super passionate about, and then just nothing doesn't see the light of day.
Yeah.
So, oh well. It happens.
I wish I could provide more daylight.
I mean, it's just like I'm fascinated with that stuff. There are other creators that I want to talk to of just like, what are some of the things that never happened? Like the thing that you put in work towards, and no one bit, and that's it. It's just sitting there now. It's done. What are those things? Those are the things that I want to know. So.
Hopefully someday some of them will get out of that limbo that they live in.
Yeah, I mean,
some things will get to live.
Move on. They write new things, and then maybe something. They're like, hey, 10 years ago we made this thing. What if we retool this and make something out of it, and then it works. Who knows? Yeah,
you can always try again. I think about The Tick, which started as comics and was a cartoon, and then was two different, sitcoms. There's been so many versions of The Tick.
Yep.
Maybe we have yet to see the best version of The Tick that will come out in any format.
Who knows? Who knows? Indeed. I guess that's about it. I guess the last thing I'll mention, which is kind of wrapping around to what we started talking about at the start. Just for whoever needs to hear it out there, it's okay to take breaks. If you're whether it's at your job or if you're a content creator, it's okay to just be like, hey, I'm tired and I need a night off, which is what happened to me yesterday. I just was not. I was having a good day, but I was just feeling very exhausted. Right, of just like I can't. I don't have the like mental capacity to do the podcast, and I was just not feeling good. And so I was just like, hey guys, I'm not feeling well. Can we postpone this to tomorrow? But I think even in my mindset of when we first started this, of like, I, as much as I can, don't want to do that. And I'm still kind of like that, of like, I want, like we say, we'll be there every Friday night. We better be there every Friday night. Right. But you can't always do that. And sometimes you get burnt out. And sometimes you're just like, I've just had a hell of a work week, and I just want to say that it is okay to just be like, hey guys, I need a break. Like, give me this 1 week, or give me this one day, and I'll be good to go after that. So whoever needs to hear that, it's okay. So there you go. That's that. But Melissa, I say we wrap things up there. Cool. A little bit of housekeeping for you. If you guys did not know, we have multiple podcasts here at the Whatnauts. You guys can find out more information on our website, thewhatnauts.com, as well as your favorite podcasting platform of choice. Just type in the Whatnauts and all of our shows will pop up right there. If you like what we do, patreon.com/thewhatnauts is where you can support us for as little as $1 a month. At our $3 tier, we have all kinds of exclusive content from all of our shows. We just did a 2021 video game fantasy draft, which we will be checking in throughout the year because we still have a budget and we're bidding on different games as they come out and are announced and stuff like that. So we will be checking in with that throughout the year. So be on the lookout for all that stuff. But for our $5 patrons, we want to give a big shout out. So thank you to Sam, who
Thanks, Sam.
has been with us here in the chat, at least for a little bit. Thank you so much for supporting us. It means a lot. We appreciate it. Yeah, thank you. Let's see. You guys can also subscribe to us on Twitch now, twitch.tv/the Whatnauts. Sam says she is still here in the chat. So again, thank you,
Sam's
Sam.
here.
But yes, twitch.tv/the Whatnauts is where you can subscribe. I believe a tier 1 subscription is $4.99 a month. But if you have Amazon Prime, you have a free Twitch Prime subscription that you can give away to your creator of choice. You just have to link your accounts, which is super simple. But we would love that to be us. It's free money, basically. It does not cost you anything extra if you are already an Amazon Prime subscriber. So there you go. Boom. I think that is about it for housekeeping. So, Melissa, where can they find you on the internet?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Wilkywit. That's WILKYWIT. And listen to my other podcast, Saturday Morning Obscurities, where me and my brother James talk about weird old kid shows you feel like only you remember. We did do an episode about So Weird, if you want to hear what it is I'm talking about.
There you go. Good stuff. You guys can find me at YoKyleSpringer on Twitter and Instagram. If you guys want to stay up to date with our shows, we are at The Whatnauts on Twitter. So go like, share, subscribe, do all of that stuff. If you guys have some kind words to say, please go rate and review us. That would help us out a ton. We could absolutely use some more ratings and reviews if you have nice things to say, because I think we maybe only have like one of them for each show. So after 5 years of doing the Whatnauts, that is abysmal. We need some help. We need to get some more ratings and reviews up there. So again, if you have nice things to say, please go say nice things to us. We would love that a lot. That's about it though. So I guess this wraps us up for number 130 of the Whatnauts Captain's Log. We will be back next week. Bye.
Yep. Bye.